Hey friends, B here and happy Thursday. It is Thursday, February 29th. We haven't had a February 29th in 4 years, so here we are. I'll wait for a few of you guys to jump in and we're gonna get going on this. Sorry, I'm just moving some things around. Very impromptu YouTube live, but I wanted to share with you guys this tutorial. Hello, Jennifer. Welcome in, everyone. I'm going to pull you guys up on my iPad so I can see the chat. Can y'all see the entire mat? Does it look okay? I love that YouTube expands like the view to like 0.5 and I can adjust as needed. Perfect. Oh yeah, y'all can definitely see more than I thought. I'm just gonna move some stuff out of the way. Welcome in, guys. Hello, hello. Alrighty, so good afternoon. Welcome in. I'm gonna show you guys how to design this 16-inch Dahlia inspired flower. These are funneled petals, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. But I am using my daisy small template. So typically I use my daisy small to design daisy looking flowers, of course, but yesterday I designed this Dahlia inspired flower. This is going to be for my fiesta theme backdrop. I'm making them in yellow and a sky blue, so I'm really excited about it. I hope you are too. So let's get right into this video. There is a chat if you want to say hello in the chat. And welcome in, guys. Don't forget, feel free to share this live video, hit that thumbs up, and of course, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. My goal is to post more tutorials here on YouTube and kind of transition more content over here, since most of my tutorials are on Facebook. So when you come here on my YouTube, you're going to see I don't have a lot of tutorials. Not every template has a tutorial here on my YouTube, but I do have an entire library of tutorials over on my Facebook business page. If you want to check that out, the link is in the description of this video for my Facebook page. So be sure to check that out as well. Thank you for the love. So for today's video tutorial, we're going to use the Daisy Small template. We're going to use petal 2. It is an 8 petal pattern, okay? We're going to use petal 2, petal 6, 7, and 8, okay? You are going to need the 6.5 inch octagon base. This is included with your printable template purchases. If you're new here, all of my templates are printable and digital format. So when you purchase from my Etsy shop, you are going to just get this. It has all the petals sized and ready to go. And then you're going to cut outside of the black line once you print them off. Now you can print them on thicker cardstock paper, so that way you have a sturdier pattern, okay? Now just keep that in mind. Again, my templates are printable. I do not ship any hard copy files to you. Everything is to be printed from your Etsy purchase history, okay? Now, in addition, you are going to need 65-pound cardstock. I'm making a yellow flower, and you're going to need 13 sheets of cardstock for this flower. This is standard 8.5 by 11. This is AstroBrights, and it's their Solar Yellow cardstock. I purchased it from Amazon. Now, you're also going to need a flexible ruler for petal placement, and I'm going to use 3 different dowel rod sizes. I'm using my 1/4 dowel, my 5/16 dowel, and then my yellow 3/8 wood dowel, okay? Alrighty, so once you have those, you're also going to need your hot glue gun. I'm using my full-size Gorilla dual temp, always on high, and of course, Gorilla hot glue sticks are always a recommendation for me, almost a requirement, okay? Now, the glue gun, whatever you like, but Gorilla hot glue sticks definitely suggest, okay? So we are going to use that. Now you're also going to need a pencil because we do hand trace and hand cut all of our flowers that are made. So first thing, I'm going to take my petals. Petal 8 and petal 7 are going to be positioned at a little bit of an angle. And then petal 2 and petal 6 are going to be up at the top. So all 4 sizes will fit on your 8.5 by 11 sheet. Say hello in the chat if you're here. There's a little chat option, a chat box. Thank you, Jennifer, for joining. Now I am just going to trace my petals. Now I do cut multiple sheets at one time. If you hear noise in the background, our neighbors are getting their foundation fixed right now. So I'm going to take this top sheet and I'm going to take 3 additional sheets underneath. So that way, when I cut these out, I'm cutting 4 at a time. Hello, Angel. So now if you're new to paper flowers, I do not recommend cutting 4 sheets at once. Start with 2 sheets. You will have to trace a few more times, but you don't want to injure yourself or, you know, get any soreness in your hands or fingers or wrists, okay, with the cutting. So I'm cutting 4 at a time. Now I have this set. I'm going to go ahead and do this one more time where I trace. Now, you are going to need a few sheets or a few petals of each. Now, for petal 6 and petal 7, you will only need 8 of each, okay? For petal 6 and 7. For petals 2 and 8, you're going to need 16 of each, okay? So again, petal 2 and 8, you're going to need 16 total for each of them. And then for petals 6 and 7, you're only going to need 8 of each, okay? So I'm going to go ahead, I trace these again. I'm going to take 3 sheets underneath. Now, because I need to double up on 8 and 2, I'm just going to simply take 8 here, 2 down here. And your tracing lines do not need to be heavy, guys. Go in with a light hand. And then petal 2. Okay, so petal 2 and 8 got an additional tracing for 2 of them. And then I'm going to take 3 underneath. So this is going to give us 12 sheets for the petals. And then you need 1 more sheet just for your base. And we're using our 6.5 inch octagon. Okay. And that's all the cardstock we'll be using. I'm going to put all of my petals to the side. And now we're going to cut. So I'm just going to cut these out. You just need 1 base. And again, it's a 6.5 inch octagon. Okay. And then we're going to go in with the rest of our petals. And we're going to cut these out. Now I'm trying to cut right on the line, if not a little on the inside. If you end up with any pencil marks on the edges, it's just a matter of going in and erasing, okay? Okay. And I'm just going to repeat this process until all of my petals are cut. So 8 petals will make 1 layer. So I have 1 layer of petal 2, 1 layer of petal 8 already. Thank you for the love, guys. Feel free to share this live. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Forever Petals by V. Okay. 8, petal 8, petal 7. 6. Remember, there's going to be 2 layers of petal 2, 2 layers of petal 8, and then singular layers of petal 6 and 7. But every layer is going to have 8 total petals. And then our last set. Okay, so now we have all of our petals cut. Again, with just repeating the petal count, these are both petal 8. There are 8 in each stack, so 16 total. Petal 7 has 8, petal 6 has 8, and then petal 2 has 2 layers, again, with 8 in each. So there's 6 layers total. Each layer has 8 petals. So now to style the petals, we're just simply going to start with our largest layer. Now, you don't want to try and style and curl these petals with 8 at a time. I'm going to split them into 2 piles of 4. Okay. I'm going to take my yellow 3/8 dowel and I'm just going to scoop and shape the petal because I want to prep it for the way that it's going to be styled. So that way it avoids as much creasing as possible and it's just a smooth overlap. And then don't forget to scoop out this bottom area because what's going to happen is we're going to overlap the bottom just like this. Okay. So that's why we need to prepare the petals to let them know ahead of time, hey, you're going to be shaping like this, so that way there's not any creases or any funny looking areas when we do that. So you're just going to scoop them out. We're not going to do any cuts up the center that you may have seen me do in other tutorials. We're just shaping them to scoop out and basically give them a little lift on these edges. Again, I'm using my 3/8 yellow wood dowel to help that process. Now, don't forget, these video tutorials will be safe for you to replay and rewatch at your own time. And all of my printable paper flower templates can be purchased in my Etsy shop. All the links are posted down in the description of this video tutorial. So thanks for hanging out with me today. And then once we get to petal 2, I am going to go in with the red 5/16 just to start this curving process. And then with the 1/4, I'm going to go into the bottom just to give it a little bit of a tighter lift, so that way it'll be easier to funnel and hot glue. Now just be mindful, we are using hot glue for our paper flowers, so you want to be sure to be mindful of working with hot glue and that it can burn you, so please be careful. Also, just a little friendly reminder, it is February 29th. So tomorrow, beginning March 1st, 2024, we'll begin my birthday month template sale. And it actually starts tonight at 12 a.m. Central. So I will have my printable paper flower templates heavily discounted for the entire month of March 2024 for my birthday month. So be sure to check that out and grab yourself some paper flower printable templates. So once they're all prepped, I'm going to start with my petal 8. I'm going to take some hot glue and then I'm just going to overlap. Now my fingers are used to the heat, guys. So yes, I'm pressing right on and my fingers are going to start building up hot glue. By the time we're done, there's going to be like a pile of glue on my fingers. Again, I believe Angel mentioned she did get some hot glue finger caps. You can purchase them at Hobby Lobby. Dollar Tree may still have them as well, but they're protectors to cover your fingers. This would be a great flower to use them for because you are directly putting your fingers onto that hot glue or around it. So and we're just going to funnel the petals until all of them are this styled this way. Thank you to those who are watching live and to those also watching the replay. My finger got stuck to the paper. As you can see, the hot glue is built up on my finger. That is not my skin, it's just the hot glue. Now this style and technique can be used for multiple other templates. I did this Dahlia inspired flower as well with template 52. That tutorial is over on my Facebook business page currently. But any template that has like a smaller shape, a thinner shape, you can do this technique with. I would kind of stay away from the templates that are a little bit thicker to do this technique, just because they will be very wide. But thinner template designs will work well. I've done template 28, template 37, template 52, template 41 with this technique. So definitely try this funnel technique for, oh, sorry, I didn't curve it over enough, with other template designs as well. Okay, we're halfway there. I'm just going to continue. I like how they're stacked together. They look like a fishtail braid. Right? Is that what it is? I think that's what the braid style is called. Okay. Now these are much smaller, so they're going to be a little bit more resistant to the overlap, like to curling over, so okay, last layer. And then the next steps, once we finish overlapping all these petals, it's just applying them to the base and positioning them. And the placement for this flower is going to be pretty simple, in a sense that all the layers leading up to the very inner layer are going to be placed at the same distance, which is going to be a 2.5 inch measurement, but I will show you what I mean for those of you that are not familiar with my process. So that way you can begin to make your own flowers. Okay, last one. Alrighty, so now all 40 petals, remember, or not 40, 48 petals, we do have 6 layers of 8, are now set. So I'm going to move these to the side. You want to make sure that you do not mix them up. You want to keep them in order. Where did my base go? Did anyone see the base disappear? I did cut out a yellow base, right? I'm not going crazy. Oh, she's on the floor. Found her. Alrighty. So now that we have all of our petals cut out, we're going to prep our 6.5 inch octagon base. So the first set of petals need to be placed at the same distance as they come into as they're glued onto the base. This is going to help shape our petal and make it more of a round look, and ensure that we don't have too many lopsided petals or one petal is further onto the base than the other. So I'm going to take my ruler. I'm going to go to my straight edge, and I don't want to zoom in too much. Oh gosh. Okay. Sorry if that was too, it's so sensitive. So I am going to go to the straight edge. I'm going to go to the midway point, and I am going to mark 2.5 inches away from the edge into the center. Okay. And I'm going to rotate. I'm going to continue until I have 8 2.5 inch marks all placed off of each straight edge down the middle. Okay. So you're going to rotate and continue. And you'll continue going around. Okay, so now I have 8 2.5 inch marks placed. Now I'm going to gently zoom out. Okay, there we go. I get so scared, it's so sensitive. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and take my first set of 8 petals, that is petal 8, and we're going to place them. Now what I'm going to do is when they're all together, I'm going to gently push down, just so that way they kind of widen out at the top, but not too much. You don't want them to be like super flat. So now I'm going to take my hot glue. I'm going to be generous. I'm only going to put about 2 inches from the bottom to up the spine of the flower petal. I'm going to take this bottom edge and bring it up to that 2.5 inch mark and just press down. Okay. And I'm pressing from the inside so that way it grabs onto the base. Then we're going to rotate, and you're going to repeat this process for all of the remaining petals. Okay. Go up to the 2.5 inch mark, place and rotate. Jennifer. I feel like I can do this one with my eyes closed since I made 3 of them yesterday. The measurements I'm pretty locked in with, because they're, as I mentioned, all the petals are going to be placed right on the outer edge of the initial 2.5 inch dots, except the last 8 petals. So 5 of the layers are just going to repeat the placement, which is nice because you'll quickly get the hang of the process there. Sometimes when it comes to flower designs, I am doing so many different measurements for each layer, so it can be a little bit more tedious, but this one's pretty good and easy to do. So this is my first set of petals. Again, this is a 16-inch flower from petal to petal. Now I'm going to go to my next layer, which is still petal size 8, same size as we just did, but these petals are going to be placed in between the 2 from the previous layer. Again, the bottom edge is just going to align right here at the bottom with those petals behind it. Add your glue. Now you're really only going to need glue on the 1-inch piece of the bottom edge of the petal. You do not need to put glue any higher than that because this is lifted. So any glue from this point up is not going to be touching anything. So there's no purpose of using glue there. So for me, I'm going to pinch to crease just so we have a lift. And I would say it's like 1 inch. Yeah, just about 1 inch of that bottom point. Add your glue, place, and then just push down. Now it is going to be hot when you push down. So if you want to use your wood dowel just to press it for you so you don't have to burn your fingers, that's perfectly fine. Give it some time to cool because of the way that we're forcing this petal in. It may want to lift up so before the glue is dry. So just be mindful. And then rotate and make your way around. Again, keeping it low. Press down, just like that. And last petal for this layer. Now our next layer is petal 7. We're going to petal size down. And again, you're going to repeat the process, but for petal 7, they're going to go in between the 2 petals you just added. So essentially petal 7 is going to align with that very first layer of petal 8. Okay. Again, just pinching that bottom corner, the bottom tip of the petal, and rotate. Again, not going any further into the base. You're still keeping that open circle, but just aligning the bottom edge with the petals that were added prior to. Like, what am I saying? Now we're going to go in with petal 6 and we're going to repeat the process. Again, placing petal 6 in between petal 7 and making sure that you stagger them. Thank you guys. So again, allowing the bottom edge of petal 6 to still follow the boundary line in here. Do not go any further towards the base. And you can literally pre-crease it, add your glue. Now they may want to move forward, but as you add the remaining layers, they will kind of just be side by side. Sorry, I just dropped tilted over my hot glue gun. Again, I'm still giving each petal time to dry. Although Gorilla Hot Glue does dry pretty quick, you can never trust the petals and them not wanting to lift up. And then our last petal, sorry, I hit the flower. Now we have 2 final layers to add, and that is petal 2. There are a set of 16. Now the very first set of 8 is going to follow exactly what we just did, okay? You're going to go up to this edge here for your placement, making sure petal 2 is in between 2 of the previous petals from that layer. So again, I'm just adding glue, going in, and it is going to become more and more of a tight squeeze because we're running out of space, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and add. Now these you are going to squeeze right next to each other, making sure that the placement is in between every 2 petals. Again, just placing in between, following that bottom edge. Again, you're going to kind of want to push them out so that way you have enough room for all 8. Hey, Robin, thank you. And these would be so pretty in so many different colors. Again, I'm making them in blue, in yellow, as well as lunar blue from AstroBrights. They will be part of my Fiesta themed backdrop. So all of the flowers in this design will be blue, like a sky blue, a bright sky blue, as well as yellow. And then, of course, all of the other bright Fiesta colors that are going to be incorporated. But those will be made in different flower styles. Last petal. Okay. Now, we have 8 more to go, but we're not going to try to fit all 8 in the same row side by side. So I'm going to take my 8. I'm going to take 5 of them. These 5 are going to be placed, again, just bending the bottom tip. It's probably about 1/2 inch at this point. And I'm going to be okay with placing them inside that circle that we still have. I'm just going to place them to where they're not necessarily pushing up on anything. They're just right up to the petal behind it. And you're going to fit 5 right next to each other. Okay? Hopefully. I think we can make it happen. It's a little bit of a tight squeeze, but we want this center to be really full. So that way, over time, the petals do not like if they happen to open up, they're not going to show like all of the center. It's still going to be nice and full to where once the paper relaxes over time, it's not going to cause an opening. So you really want to make sure you're filling this center. So I'm definitely using my wood dowel because my hand is not going to fit in there. And then the final petal for this set is going to go right in here. Let me rotate this. And then I'm going to push down with my dowel. Now I have 3 final petals that we're going to squeeze right in the middle. They are going to kind of intertwine a little bit, like the petals are going to kind of go overlapping each other, but that's okay because we want it to be full. And again, I'm only pinching a little bit of the bottom just to bend it so it can lift. And I'm holding it down because now that you're forcing these inside, you don't want it to just pop out. You want it to stay in place. So holding down with your wood dowel so that way it doesn't move. And it's secure and dry. And one final petal, guys. And you are going to be done with your Daisy Small template turned into a Dahlia inspired flower. And there we go. You've completed your paper flower. So I do want to say thank you guys for hanging out with me here on YouTube Live. You can expect more live tutorials that I'm going to do here on YouTube to build up my library of tutorials for you guys. So that way you can always look back and follow along at your own time and pace. Don't forget, my printable paper flower templates are in my Etsy shop. The link and details are in the description of this live video, so be sure to check that out as well. I hope you guys are inspired. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys on my next paper flower tutorial.